Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on this beautiful day. It is beautiful outside, but thank you so much for joining us on this class that we have here for you today. My name is Porfirio Coronado, and I am the Dallas Area Habitat's Homeowner Services Assistant Manager. And today we have our friends from Community Tax Centers, which is a nonprofit that does taxes for low to moderate income families. So if you are in the Habitat counseling program and the Habitat homeownership program, more than likely you are able to qualify for their services. So today they're going to be talking about the child tax credit, okay, and how the advanced child tax credit and how that payment can affect your tax return or your tax refund at the end of the year when you file it. And then also we're going to talk about the earned income credit. A lot of y'all probably see it on your tax return, but don't really understand what that is. So we are here, or they are here to debunk any questions or any myths that there is around those two credits. And then just to give you some general information about, how to file your own taxes for free with their services. Again, my name is Pedro Coronado, and I have Miss Lakeisha Grice, Sophia Sanchez, and then also Jonathan Hale with Community Tax Centers. Good afternoon. How's it going?
Hi guys, it's going good.
Awesome. So please go ahead and go ahead and introduce yourself, and then a little bit about the organization, and then anything else you would like to share. Then we can go ahead and start with the presentation.
Sure, I'll go first. Hi, my name is Sophia Sanchez. I am the project coordinator here at the Dallas Community Tax Centers. We also have Ms. Lakeisha Grice. She is our site coordinator and training coordinator. And we also have Mr. Jonathan Hale, who is our volunteer specialist, coordinator, sorry. So who are we? For those of you who don't know, we are the Dallas Community Tax Centers. We have been established here in Dallas since 2009. We serve the entire North Texas area. We are not zip code restricted. So if you need to file our taxes, anyone is welcome. We have prepared more than 120,000 returns, and we are the largest VITA program in North Texas. The VITA program is actually a program from the IRS. So we have in all of our sites, site coordinators who are retired IRS employees who work with certified preparers in order to prepare your taxes. We're sponsored by the City of Dallas, United Way, and the IRS in order to provide these free services to all clients, again, in North Texas. We are not zip code restricted, so if you have any need for tax help, we're here for you. We have 7 locations, usually throughout the Dallas metropolitan area. Due to COVID, we had to restrict these areas, but we're hopeful that once the pandemic is over, we'll be able to fully serve all 7 locations. We partnered with the Dallas Public Library, with other organizations that allow us to be into, that allow us to go into their locations and establish these free sites for everybody. We used to have one site in Habitat, so we're very happy to be partnering with them. During our summer session, though, which just runs from July to October 15th, we have 2 sites that are currently open. We have a site in the North Dallas area called North Dallas Ministries and Hampton Public Library, which is in the Oak Cliff area. So if you guys need help, if you haven't done your taxes, you can always come to one of our sites during the summer session, which ends October 15th, in order to either file your taxes, renew your ITIN. If you are a non-filer, we also help out with those. If you need to do an amendment, we also help out with those. We don't just do this year's taxes, so we can also do past year's taxes. In the screen that you should see, we have all the hours of operation for those, as well as links to our appointment sites. You guys can always go to our website, dallastaxcenters.org, in order to create an appointment. And it's at your own pace. So if you, are busy during the morning, but have time available in the evening, you can choose our North Dallas Ministries location. They're open until 7 p.m. But if you want more of a morning appointment, you can always go to Hampton, Illinois. And what you should bring. So if you need to do your taxes, there are very important documents that you need to be bringing to your appointments. The most important one is your photo ID and a social security card. If you are a married couple, you need to have a photo ID for both parties. And if you have any dependents, you also have to bring their social security cards or ITIN cards. This allows us to make sure that we have all your information put in correctly into our system so that we can send it to the IRS. We also need a copy of all of your W-2s and 1099s. If you're self-employed, we also work with you. So just make sure you're bringing a total of all your expenses. We also need health insurance documents. This is only for if you need to do a past year's tax return, or if you were a part of the Obamacare. So if you receive a 1095, we need to see that. And then we need to see your checking or savings account number. This will allow your refund to be sent directly to either your checking or your savings account. We electronically file all of our tax returns unless we need to paper file them. But just putting in that account number allows you to get your money faster and quicker. And then if you have your last year's tax return, we also want to make sure that we want to see that, just because if there's a big difference in your tax refunds or just any information, we can make sure that we can explain that to you. Our organization not only wants to help file your taxes, we want you to know and understand your taxes. So we'll walk you through the entire process so that you know where your money's going to, where your money is going to, and where your money is coming from. And that way you are more financially independent. Next slide. And now I'm going to kick it over to Ms. Lakeisha Grice, who will be talking about the Advanced Child Tax Credit.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name is Lakeisha, and I am the site coordinator at the North Dallas Share Ministry location, as well as the tax training coordinator. So just wanted to briefly give you all some highlights about the Advanced Child Tax Credit. You all have probably received some information, maybe a letter from the IRS, maybe back in June, and just hearing a lot of talk, information, news about it. So just wanting to give you some key highlights. So what does the advance really mean? So this is a prepayment. So these are funds for those that qualify. You're receiving this prior to filing your 2021 tax return. So that 2021 tax return does not get filed until next year. So with this advance, this prepayment, you are receiving half of the credit now, and the remaining half will be claimed on your 2021 tax return. So the IRS is distributing half of the credit now. So if you receive the advance now, you won't receive that portion again when you actually file your tax return, because you've already received it this year. And so what those amounts look like. So for the 2021 tax year, they have increased the child tax credit. So as you can see, for children's ages 3 and under, at the end of the 2021, that child tax credit is now $3,600. So based on this advance, you're able to get $1,800 per child in advance this year. Then you can see for children ages 6 through 17 at the end of 2021, that child tax credit is $3,000. So that advance is $1,500 per child. So based on this, if you're qualifying for the advanced child tax credit, you're going to receive that $1,800, and then you're going to receive the remaining $1,800 when you file your 2021 tax return. So you can see you're receiving half of it this year, and then the remaining half when you file your tax return. The same goes for children ages 6 to 17. On there, you're receiving half this year and receiving half the remaining year on your tax return. And just please, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in our chat on the Q&A. Once I get through going over the advanced child tax credit, we will definitely address those questions, as well as we have some panelists that will be monitoring those questions, so they may be able to answer them right away.
Stranger gave me a pillow. So I got choked up and I said, thank you. That moment of kindness.
So now the next part is, how do you qualify for the advanced child tax credit? So you actually have to have a qualifying child to get their child tax credit. So that's in most situations, it's being your son, daughter, grandchild, foster child, and an individual that is under the age of 18 as of 2021, and they have lived with you for more than half of the year, and they qualify as your dependent. So you're claiming them as your dependent. So that's the first that's the first step for qualifying for the advanced child tax credit. And then you have to have filed a 2019 or 2020 tax return. So that return must have been filed and processed by the IRS. So right now there are still some delays going on with them processing tax returns. So it has to be completely processed by the IRS in order for you to qualify for the advanced child tax credit. So some individuals, they may not have a filing requirement, may not have a history of actually filing a tax return. Well, the IRS, they have developed this non-filer tool that those individuals can use to input their information to qualify for this advanced child tax credit. And as you can see on this slide right here, it does show you on the irs.gov website what that non-filer's information looks like, and it requires you to submit your information on there. Also, another alternative, if you do not have a filing requirement, like Sophia mentioned earlier, you can go to visit one of our VITA sites. So we actually have 2 locations that are open this summer, North Dallas Shared Ministry and Hampton Public Library. You have the option to visit one of those locations by October the 15th to we can help you complete that non-filer's tax return. So also letting you know, at the very bottom of this slide, you'll also see the link where you can go and submit for the non-filers on here. So just letting you know that this is a third party. Once you click on the enter your information, it will direct you to a third party site that is approved by the IRS for you to input your information in to qualify. And also another qualification is the US has to be your main home for more than half the year. So ways to qualify for the advanced child tax credit: having a qualifying child. You have to have filed your 2019 or 2020 tax return, must have been filed and processed by the IRS. Or if you do not have a filing requirement for 2019 or 2020, you will need to use the IRS non-filer tool. And I also want to note, if you do have a filing requirement, you should not use the non-filer tool to submit your information. If you do have questions on if you have a filing requirement or not, I would suggest you could also come by and visit one of our VITA sites and talk to us. We can ask you some information about your income situation to see if it is which type of tax return you need to file.
So as you can see, we've got potential showers and storms every day.
So if you've already in the process of receiving your advance and you need to make some updates, well, the IRS also has a managed payment portal on here. And so I have a screenshot of that where you can see that it's on the IRS website. Or you can also make an appointment to visit one of our VITA sites, and we could try to assist you to work you so you can go through that portal to manage. As you can see, for this portal, you're using this if you need to enroll to check and see if you're already enrolled. Maybe you just filed your 2019, 2020 tax return and the IRS just finished processing it. So you want to make sure that you're enrolled to receive these advance payments. So you're able to go to this portal right here. Maybe you had a financial status change, maybe your income increased or decreased for whatever reason. Maybe a dependent, a qualifying child is coming off of your tax return and you want to unenroll from receiving the advance payments. You're able to use this portal as well. Or if you need to update your bank account information, mailing address, or to view your payments, this would also be the same portal that you would want to go to on here to view those. I also want to make a note, if the filing status is married filing jointly, both the taxpayer and the spouse would have to complete the managed payment process through the portal. If it's just the taxpayer completing it, this process would only take effect for the taxpayer. So yes, for married filing joint, both the taxpayer and the spouse would have to complete the managed payments. And so below you'll see the link as well to go to this managed payment to make any changes that you need, or you're more than welcome to visit our VITA site for assistance. So what are some key dates? So here you can see the IRS, they started talking about implementing this advanced child tax credit back in June so that the first payment would go out in the month of July. So they're initiating sending all of these payments out on the 15th of each month. And so if that does hit on a weekend, it is the previous business day. So they've already issued those for July and August. So you'll see for our September, that payment is set to hit on the 15th. And if definitely want to pay attention to those payment dates, because if you need to make any changes to your portal or maybe update your bank account information, you definitely have to make those changes in time for it to be processed in the portal so it can be processed on that payment date. And also to the right of that, you can see dates that you can make changes. So they have periodically been phasing in certain activities or tasks that taxpayers are able to complete on here. So as of last month, individuals were able to make changes to their address. So now we should now be able to make changes to dependents, changing marital status, if your income has changed, or if you may be unenrolled and you want to re-enroll and receive the advance. So these are some key dates. And so you'll see that the last date that they're making the payment would be December the 15th on there. So this is how they're breaking up that advance. That advance is broken up in 6 different payments. And lastly, on the advanced child tax credit, what do you need to know before filing your 2021 tax return? So you've received these advanced child tax credit payments. Now you're getting ready, gathering all of your tax documents, and it's time to file your tax return. Well, don't forget that the IRS will be issuing letter 6419 to the address that you have on file. They should be sending those out in January 2022 to those individuals who have received the advanced child tax credit. You definitely want to make sure that you bring that with you to a VITA site wherever you go to file your tax return, because that is needed to reconcile the advance payments that you have received. So it will reflect the amount that you received. So then you would be able to receive the difference as a credit on there. So definitely, please be on the lookout for that letter 6419 that you will need to take with you to the tax office to prepare your 2021 2021 tax return. We also want you to be aware of potential fraud. There are definitely a lot of scams going on, so definitely want to let you know that the IRS will never call you regarding your tax return. If there are any issues that arise, then we'll definitely have the IRS at the end of this slide. We will have the IRS number that you could call, but you're always wanting to call the IRS if you have any questions. Their method of communication is letters to the taxpayer. So we definitely want you to be aware, definitely with this advance, that the IRS will not be making phone calls.
So we have a question. They asked, someone asked, what happens if they receive an email? What about an email? Would that be an option? Or just strictly just mail by letter by mail?
So yes, so great question. So the IRS will not send you an email as well. Their general primary form of communication is letters. So waiting to receive a letter. If you receive a email, I would definitely advise you not to open it, not to respond. The IRS, they do have some information on their website where you can report suspicious activity, that they gather all of that information, because the IRS does inform the community, the general public, of ways that scams are developing and out there targeting you. So you would definitely want to look for a letter. The IRS, their primary mode of communication is through letters. And at this time, we're going to see if are there any other questions about the advanced child tax credit?
There was one more. Someone asked, what happens if they have an opt-out and they opt out through the middle? Like say, for example, they receive the last payment or so, but they want to opt out. Can they do that?
So if you decided to opt out now, that means you would have only received the July and August payment. So yes, you're more than welcome to opt out. And just on the time frame, it just showed where individuals that previously opted out, they are able to re-enroll. So if you do opt out within and you're only receiving the first 2 payments, that should be the amount that's reflected on this letter 6419.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And so just to let you know, the IRS, they have a lot of useful information on their website. So if you go to the irs.gov, on their home screen, you would see a button that says Get Details on the Advanced Child Tax Credit. And on that screen down below, they have a lot of Q&A information, just a lot of resources and answers to questions that a lot of people may have as it relates to the advanced child tax credit. So the next thing we want to talk about is the earned income credit on here. So the earned income credit, this is the biggest credit that we see on the tax returns. This is what we call, it's a non-refundable credit. So individuals that may not have a filing requirement qualify for this credit to receive this refund. It puts money in a taxpayer's pocket. And so each year, their earned income credit increases a little bit on there. So they're also increasing the credit for individuals who do not have a child on there. So we definitely like to put information letting people know about the earned income credit, because this is money that individuals are entitled to, helping with finances, maybe catching up on bills, for savings. So for the earned income credit, an individual must have earned income for the year. Now for this 2020 tax year that's still in effect, the IRS allowed us to look back at an individual's 2019 tax return. So for most individuals for 2020, a lot of individuals may have lost, some individuals may have lost their job and were receiving unemployment. Unemployment is not earned income. So therefore, with this look back on the 2019, we were able to use the individual's 2019 tax return and looking at their wages or non-employee compensation, their contractor income, and use that to boost up their earned income, which they may not have received for the 2020 tax year. I'm not for sure if this will continue for the 2021 tax period, but if you definitely have not filed your 2020 tax return, know someone that have not, this definitely helped a lot of individuals for the 2020 tax year. In order to qualify for the earned income credit, everyone listed on the tax return must have a Social Security number. And the investment income has to be $3,650 or less. So this chart provided here, it shows based on a person's adjusted gross income. So pretty much looking at their total income for the year and based on how many qualifying children or relatives that they have to qualify for this earned income credit. If their income is within these ranges, they could qualify for the credit. So the max credit amount for individuals that do not have qualifying children is $543, and the credit going up to 3 or more qualifying children, $6,728. So again, individuals must have earned income for the year. This is a refundable credit, so it's either going to reduce a person's tax liability, or it could definitely put the necessary funds in a person's individual's pocket. And so you're qualifying for this even if there is no filing requirement. Do we have any questions at this time?
Not at this moment. Looks like everybody is up to date currently.
Okay, great. So lastly, just wanted to share some additional information about the Dallas Community Tax Centers. And just information if maybe if you need some additional assistance with your tax returns. Again, our VITA sites are open up until October the 15th. Maybe you have filed a tax return or your 2020 return and it's still sitting in limbo. You go to the irs.gov and the where is my refund, and it shows that it's still processing. So this is some additional assistance. So the IRS taxpayer assistance or clinics, they are open for in-person and they are taking appointments. So this number provided, the 844-545-5640. This is the number where you can call the IRS TAC and they will be able to find a location. We have 3 definitely in the Metroplex area. We have the downtown Dallas. They have a location in the Farmers Branch area, and then they also have a location in the Fort Worth area. So definitely, if you need to set up an appointment, you have questions that only an IRS representative can assist you with, you definitely want to make sure you call this number and set up an appointment with them. You will need to have 2 forms of identification on there, but we are definitely sending a lot of our tax clients to the IRS tax office for additional assistance after we help them. Also, we also have our vital locations. If you're wanting to come in person, they're by appointment. We did mention that we have our North Dallas Shared Ministry area, as well as our Hampton, Illinois Library. And so if you needed to make an appointment, you could call at the 214-370-9353, or you can go to our website and you can set up your own appointment at the dallastaxcenters.as.me. It will let you select from either location and selecting the time that you prefer. We also have a sister VITA site that we wanted to spotlight. It is the Shadowbrook Apartments, and they're located in the Arlington area. And we've provided their number, the 817-461-3936. If you're in the Arlington area or know someone in the Arlington area that needs assistance. There's also a lot of other VITA sites that you can go to or refer. If you go to the irs.gov website, and in the search bar, if you type in VITA, VITA, it will then allow you to enter in your zip code, and within a knowledge range that you prefer, it will show you the locations in your area. So definitely, if there's some tax returns that you still need processed, need assistance with, visit one of these sites, come and visit us by October the 15th. And again, like as Sophia said, we are doing multiple years, so we can assist with more than 1 year.
Okay, awesome. To piggyback off what you just said, one of the questions someone asked is how far back can IRS audit you?
So just from my limited knowledge, the IRS, from my understanding, for as fraud related, they could possibly go back as far as they need to. For as auditing, I have seen them possibly go back maybe like 3 years. So I don't have a specific time frame of that they can go back to audit. But if those are years that, so I would assume where audit means that the person has already filed their tax return on there. But definitely, if you have not, you definitely want to get those returns in. But I don't know the specifics of how far they can go back, because it could be on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, just because I know some like banks recommend their clients to keep up to 7 years. So we didn't know they were asking because of that. So just kind of making sure they're aware of what to keep and what to kind of shred or get rid of.
Gotcha. I would say for me in my practice, personally, I try to retain as many tax years as possible. I know some people mention like maybe they retain like 7 years for it's just holding to keep for your records. The IRS, they also have a transcript portal that individuals can access. So they will keep the most current 3 years for a tax return for an individual where you can go and access on there.
Awesome, thank you. Great answer. Thank you. They're happy now. One question someone's asking in the audience, what timeframes do you guys have when it comes to like tax season? So I'm assuming you know how it gets busy at the beginning of the year. Do you guys have different hours than what you guys had shown here, or is it the same?
So no, definitely during our regular tax season, we are open longer. With the pandemic, we also offer virtual tax preparation on there, so individuals can sign up and submit their tax documents securely through our portal from the comfort of their home, our job site. So we definitely in normal tax season, we have about 7 locations open, and most of those during our peak season, we are open about 6 days out of the week at each location. And most of those, some locations could open early in the morning, or maybe in the afternoon to later in the evening. So we do make sure that our hours of operation are tailored for all of our clients. Definitely early for maybe those mothers or those retirees, so they could come, or definitely after people getting off of work. We're definitely staying open till around about 7, some sites 8-ish for individuals as they get off of work in the commute and for as the traffic. But we have definitely been able to open up our virtual options. And so that one is kind of at a very flexible. I wouldn't say at a 24-hour, but you could definitely communicate and upload information at your leisure within that 24-hour range. And we're able to communicate and work with you and work with your schedule. So definitely having a lot of various hours where it could work with anyone to come and get their taxes prepared.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Another question someone asked is this new tax credit, because I think they're saying it increased. Is that permanent, like going forward, or is that just for like this year because of COVID, or for the next couple of years?
As of right now, it is just for this 2021 year. Yes, related to COVID. It was I want to say the American Plant Act that was implemented, that was put in place. I believe it was passed in March, that kind of had the provisions for this advanced child tax credit. So whether it gets extended for other tax years, at this point, I'm not for sure, but it's definitely for just for 2021 as of now.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And again, guys, they provide a free service. So definitely make sure you guys take the information, just inquire about it, because it is great information that they're giving you. And again, they're just going to let you know what they can do and if you do qualify as well. Okay.
So this one, some of you may wonder, how can I get involved? You may be interested in taxes. You may know someone that's interested in taxes. So we have provided over 11, close to 12 million in total refunds. Again, we've talked about that this is a no-cost tax preparation. So if you are wanting to receive your full refund that you are entitled to, using it for investment, college preparation, maybe paying down some bills, you would definitely want to check out our VITA site or other VITA sites. And we're able to provide this service to our community with our volunteers. Our volunteers definitely are our backbone, our resource. They commit so many hours to help us provide the services to our community. We have these volunteers consist of retirees, still working professionals that dedicate their time off on the weekends or when they leave work on the evenings. We also have college students as well as high school students that are interested in providing services, giving back to their community. So we're definitely appreciative for our volunteers. Our goal is to just always increase each year for our volunteers. They've had most of them have had the opportunity to work remote this past tax year. So definitely wanting to increase and keep them engaged. If it's something that you're looking to volunteer, we have some different roles. We have the tax preparer, and this requires about 12 hours of volunteer training that we do, whether this could be in person or virtual. So you're preparing tax returns for families and individuals. We also have greeter positions where you're welcoming the clients and screening their information for eligibility or preparing them. And this is about 2 hours of volunteer training, as well as translators. Definitely need the help from our Spanish speaking to help our Spanish speaking clients communicate and inform them about their tax returns. And again, this is about 2 hours of volunteer training. So if you're interested in volunteering, want more information about our upcoming tax training courses, or want to spread the information, and wanting to get involved, if you see the email at the bottom, if you send an email to jonathan.held@found.com, he will definitely get you set up and get you on our email list to give you information and get you ready for this upcoming tax season. And wanting to find some additional ways to contact us, you can definitely follow us on our Facebook, the Dallas Community Tax Centers. You can go to our website at dallastaxcenters.org. You can also text us at 833-939-1387. You can text Tax Centers so that you can be on our text list. So when there are definitely important updates or being informed when we have things going on, you will receive that. And you also can take a look at our YouTube channel on Community Tax Centers in Dallas. We have a lot of great videos as well as training information, some short videos that you may be interested in, and our service delivery options as well. But I thank you all so much for your time. That is the end of the presentation. Definitely, if you all have any more questions, we'll definitely stay on and answer those to the best of our ability.
Thank you so much, Lakeisha, for giving us this presentation today. Again, if you have any questions related to the advanced child tax credit and also the earned income credit that you all receive or that you might be receiving when you file your taxes, please do ask. We have here this organization that is here to assist you with any questions that you might have. Any takers? Well, if we don't have any additional questions, again, thank you so much, Mr. Lakeisha, and then also the Friends of Community Tax Centers for this amazing work that they're doing. And again, if you need to file your taxes, 2021 tax return, make sure you visit them. They are able to provide their services at no cost to you. And even if you are self-employed, they'll be able to assist you with that as long as you take all of that necessary documentation. I used to volunteer with them, so that's where I got a lot of my tax knowledge. So feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions related to any tax question that you have. Okay. Just a reminder that this class, it is recorded so that if in the case that you want to share this information with anyone else, it is going to be posted on our website, on our calendar. That way you can always go back and rewatch it. Okay. We usually host this type of classes every other week. Where we talk about different topics related to financial capability. So today was related to advanced child tax credit and income credit. In a couple of weeks, we will have another topic. So just stay tuned for that. And other than that, I don't have any additional messages. I would let y'all have your rest of the evening. And thank you so much.